Ladies and gentlemen, I just finished watching Severance Season 2, Episode 4, and what in the bad acid trip was this episode? Oh my god, I'm not saying that as a bad thing. This was a crazy episode with a major spoiler in it. So if you haven't watched Severance Season 2, Episode 4, definitely watch it first, come back to this video because it's going to be one of the biggest things we talk about, and I'm actually just going to rip the band-aid off right now. This bad acid trip of an episode served as the surrogate to reveal that Helena was actually Helly for these past couple episodes of season 2. So essentially, we had Helena there undercover posing as Helly, which poses all sorts of questions for this episode. Was Helena actually just trying to get it on with freaking Mark? Not really. I mean, obviously, I'm sure she was just trying to play the part here, but like, that was some primitive shit there. I don't know how. I'm confused. Okay, whatever. We'll get back to that, trust me. But this was at first, when I was first watching this episode in the beginning, in the first like 20 minutes, I was like, what the hell is this? I don't like this, and I don't want any more of this. Can we just get away from this and go back to like the Lumen, the severed floor? But I actually ended up really liking it by the end. This episode, as we kind of discussed already, was a corporate retreat hosted by Lumen, essentially really just for Milchick to scare the shit, essentially, or try to scare the shit out of the four innies that are obviously Mark, Irving, Dylan, and Helly. So that's kind of what the episode itself focused on. And it was just very weird. Of course, we see the start with Irving waking up in the middle of this frozen lake, and then them all slowly finding each other. And as they're finding each other, they see these like really low, fake, almost like poor graphics looking versions of themselves, like pointing them towards the book where they see the Dieter book, I think it was, of Dieter Egan, I think it was. And that was like the mystery, and then of course Milchick comes in the picture and shows them around. And one of my favorite details about this is that Milchick says that the waterfall that they were at was like the world's largest waterfall, but obviously the innies have no idea what's like right from wrong. The waterfall was like the tiniest waterfall ever. I thought that was really funny, and I thought that was just a really nice way of showing what Lumen is capable of, realistically speaking, that they're willing to just, honestly, this episode showed us that they abuse their innies. Like, maybe not physically, but definitely mentally. I mean, we already did see that previously with things like the room, the break room, and stuff like that. So it's not exactly out of the picture. It's just very interesting to actually finally get some sort of further reveal of that when we essentially see Irving, his innie, get killed off later in the episode, I guess, but he did a lot to deserve that, to be honest. Like, he did the right thing by exposing Helly, but he also did it where he was literally going to drown her, to the point where I forget what the term was that Milchick used. It was something like the glass wall or the tempered wall or something like that, to essentially break Helena out and put her innie in, which I'm so glad we got this reveal, and I'm surprised we got this reveal so early on in the season. We're only on episode 4, and I think it's only like, 9 episodes again, same, maybe 10, same as last season, but it's really interesting that we got this now. And obviously, it sets a crazy crash course for what the hell is going to happen to Irving, especially his outie, in these upcoming episodes. And now, what the hell is going to happen with Helly and Helena? This is just really interesting, and to me, it's just as interesting. I'm sorry if it sounds childish, but I am genuinely curious about this, because it's going to open up a whole can of worms. The fact that Helena ended up banging Mark, okay, I get it. She has to pretend she's Helly, and she's trying to do anything she can, but that was like it seemed very genuine. It didn't seem like there was any part of her, maybe towards the end when they were done having sex and stuff, where she like looked down and like had a moment of like reflection, it seemed, but it didn't seem like this was something that she was entirely against, which is kind of interesting to watch when you see Helena later on in the in the previous episode, looking at the video of Mark and Helly kissing and like studying it with some like sentimental sort of look almost. I'm wondering if there's going to be some sort of reveal at some point within this season about that. Time will tell. I really have no idea. But it's just, it's a very interesting thing, because how low do you have to stoop, even though you're so high in the company, to end up doing this with one of the innies who clearly, like, I mean, just objectively speaking, Helena is on a much higher stature than someone like Mark S. is. And, you know, be that what it is, it's the truth of the matter in terms of this story. So it's a really interesting look into how dark these people will go for Lumen. But it's also interesting to see, maybe there is more to Helena. Maybe she really doesn't like her outside. Maybe she doesn't like being related to the Egans. Maybe she doesn't like this stuff. I honestly don't know where the hell this is going to go, but it is very, very interesting. You know what else was very interesting? The whole sequence of Irving's dream with the jump scare scared the shit out of me. I might have dropped a Hershey Kiss out my ass because it scared that much of a shit out of me. I'm not lying. I don't like jump scares, and I wasn't expecting one in a show that is really not meant to be scary, except I will be honest with you, Severance is one of the creepiest shows I've ever seen in my life, despite it not being scary in the same way that other shows are, and other genres even are. Like, horror doesn't scare me as much as this show. This just has a really interesting way of creeping into me liminally, really. That's the only way I could describe it, and just getting to me where it fucking hurts. I was not expecting a jump scare, but it happened. But also in general, this episode was just scary in general, and I get that was kind of the focus of Seth going off on these tangents about Dieter and all of that stuff, and just, he was trying to scare these people. It wasn't a happy-go-lucky corporate retreat. It was meant to be freaky. But now I'm interested to see what this is going to tell for the rest of the season, because what the hell was this? Like, oh my God. This was just a crazy episode, and one that I'm going to rewatch probably a ton of times because it was that interesting. And I'm definitely curious where this is going to bring the story. So now, like, Irving was basically executed in front of everyone, except without the death. He was like executed in front of everyone he worked with because he exposed Helly for who she really was, which, as I mentioned earlier, was noble, but also a little unhinged. And now that it's going to open an interesting can of worms, because we're obviously going to see what Irving was doing essentially to try to get to Bert, because Irving knew Bert, I guess. This is a very interesting crash course we're on. And I literally, like, I just don't know where this is going to go. This series continues to just blow me away, because each episode something crazy happens that I was not expecting at all. And you know how some shows you go into an episode and you're like, you could feel kind of where it goes and it goes there? No, this is not like that at all. I genuinely have no idea where this is going. This is crazy. It started out to be a really weird episode that I didn't think I was going to like, and turned into one that I'm not going to forget. That's for sure. Was it good? Yes. Was it great? I don't know. Was it bad? I don't know. Like, I have very mixed emotions on this episode, if you couldn't tell already. And at that, I would definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about this episode. Was this your sort of thing? Was it not? I could see some people saying that the fact that it was out in the wilderness and stuff like that just wasn't their vibe, because I don't know. I have a feeling this might be a controversial episode, or it might be people's favorite. I just don't know. So I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. With all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video. Be sure to get subscribed if you aren't already for further Severance reviews and even analyses down the road. And with all that out of the way, thank you again so much for watching this video. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.